Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Marcus Aurelius. In a world overflowing with noise, distractions, and endless connections, solitude is often misunderstood. Many see it as loneliness, a void to be filled, or even a sign of failure. But what if solitude is not a weakness, but a profound strength? What if it's not the absence of connection, but the birthplace of clarity, resilience, and inner power? Imagine someone who steps away from the chaos not because they fear rejection, but because they seek to uncover their true self. They choose solitude, not as an escape, but as a sanctuary where they can reflect, grow, and realign with their deepest values. In this quiet space, they discover that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. Instead, it's an opportunity to reconnect with their soul, to build strength from within, and to find purpose amidst the stillness. At Stoic Philosophical Community, we embrace the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who reminds us that the greatest retreat is not found in distant lands, but within ourselves. Solitude is not about isolation, it's about transformation. It's about finding the courage to face your fears, the discipline to embrace your thoughts, and the strength to emerge stronger, wiser, and more grounded than ever before. Join us as we explore the profound power of solitude and learn how to turn moments of loneliness into opportunities for growth, self-discovery, and lasting inner peace. Solitude isn't the end of connection, it's the beginning of a deeper, more meaningful one with yourself. 1. The silent strength of kindness. Kindness is both a gift and a burden, a quiet strength that often goes unnoticed, yet carries immense power. Those who are kind-hearted, who embody empathy and compassion, often walk a challenging path. They give selflessly without expecting grand gestures in return, but deep down, they hope for simple acknowledgements, a word of thanks, a warm smile, or even a nod of recognition. Yet all too often their acts of kindness are met with silence, and in that silence, loneliness takes root. This hope for recognition is not a weakness, it's human. To be kind in a world that prizes power, self-interest, and instant gratification is like swimming against a relentless tide. Kindness, however, is not about applause, it's about connection. It is the quiet hope that their efforts bring meaning and matter to someone, somewhere. Consider the story of Sarah, a young woman working tirelessly as a nurse. Every day, she goes beyond her duties to comfort patients, holding their hands when they're scared, staying late to ensure they're cared for, or simply offering a kind word when no one else does. Her colleagues admire her dedication, but they rarely say it aloud. Her patients benefit from her warmth, but they often forget to thank her. At the end of her long shifts, Sarah goes home exhausted, feeling invisible despite her efforts. She wonders if her kindness even makes a difference. But Sarah's strength lies in her unwavering belief that small, selfless acts ripple outwards, even if she doesn't see the results. Like many kind people, she understands that kindness is not transactional, it's a principle, a way of life that reflects her integrity and values. However, this steadfast kindness often comes at a cost. People like Sarah or Tommy, a young man who spends his weekends helping his elderly neighbor without complaint, are often taken for granted. Their kindness is seen as endless and worse, sometimes mistaken for weakness. Those around them fail to recognize the emotional strength and courage it takes to consistently choose compassion in a world that often rewards selfishness. The bitter irony is that the kindest people, those who give the most, often feel the loneliest. Their generosity becomes an invisible currency, spent without acknowledgement, leaving them silently isolated. Over time, their aversion to conflict, rooted in a desire to maintain peace, can deepen this isolation. They avoid confrontation not out of fear, but because they value harmony over proving a point. Yet, this avoidance can make them appear passive or indifferent, further alienating them from those they care about. The weight of kindness is heavy, and the cost of constantly giving without receiving can lead to emotional exhaustion. Kind people often suppress their own needs to maintain harmony, losing themselves in the process. Their ability to say no fades, replaced by a pattern of endless compromise. But here's the truth. Kindness is not weakness. It is a profound strength. It requires resilience to face disappointment, courage to give without guarantees, and grace to extend compassion even to those who may not deserve it. The lesson here is not to stop being kind, but to learn to balance kindness with self-care. Set boundaries, value your own needs, and remember that your worth is not defined by how others respond to your kindness. So, ask yourself, are you giving so much that you've forgotten to care for yourself? Do you feel unseen or unappreciated despite your efforts? If so, take a moment to reflect. Kindness is a powerful force, but it's not infinite. To truly thrive, kind-hearted people must learn to protect their own emotional well-being while continuing to uplift others. The world needs your kindness, but it also needs you to be whole. Remember, kindness is not just about giving, it's about giving wisely. 2. The courage behind kindness. Kind-hearted individuals often carry a quiet strength that is misunderstood by the world around them. Their reluctance to engage in conflict is not a sign of weakness, but a reflection of their deep commitment to harmony and empathy. Yet, this choice to prioritize peace over confrontation can sometimes leave them feeling invisible or unappreciated. In a world that often glorifies dominance and assertiveness, their patience and grace are frequently mistaken for passivity. As Epictetus wisely said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Kind people react with restraint and compassion, choosing to see the bigger picture rather than indulging in fleeting conflicts. However, this noble approach is often met with misunderstanding, leaving them to bear the weight of their choices in silence. Consider the story of Anna, a dedicated teacher who always goes above and beyond for her students. She spends hours after school helping struggling kids, listens patiently to their concerns, and even uses her own money to buy supplies for those in need. Yet, when her efforts go unnoticed by colleagues or parents, she feels a pang of loneliness. She wonders if her kindness truly matters. Still, Anna chooses to press on, not because she seeks recognition, but because she believes in the power of making a difference. Like many kind-hearted individuals, Anna avoids conflict, even when she feels overwhelmed, because she values the relationships she has built and the peace she strives to maintain. But this avoidance comes at a cost. Over time, the suppression of her own needs leaves her feeling drained and unacknowledged, a common reality for those who prioritize others over themselves. This struggle is not unique to Anna. People who avoid conflict often do so out of love, not fear. They understand that conflict can harm relationships they deeply cherish, and so they choose patience over confrontation. Take Mahatma Gandhi, for example. His philosophy of non-violent resistance was not born out of fear of conflict, but out of an unshakable belief in the power of kindness and understanding. Gandhi faced criticism for his refusal to meet aggression with aggression, yet his determination and compassion inspired millions and brought about profound change. Similarly, Fred Rogers, the beloved host of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, tackled difficult topics like grief and injustice with extraordinary gentleness. Despite being criticized for his idealistic approach, he remained steadfast in his belief that kindness and understanding could heal even the deepest wounds. These examples remind us that avoiding unnecessary conflict is not a weakness, but a profound act of strength and maturity. However, this strength must be balanced with self-care. Kind people often sacrifice their own needs to maintain peace, but Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of setting boundaries. Boundaries are not about rejecting others, but about protecting one's own well-being. For instance, a kind friend who is always available to help may find themselves emotionally exhausted when their own needs are ignored. By practicing assertive kindness, expressing their feelings calmly and respectfully, they can ensure their generosity is not taken for granted. This balance allows kind-hearted individuals to preserve their values while also safeguarding their emotional health. The fear of conflict is not a flaw. It is a testament to the love and respect kind people hold for others. But to truly thrive, they must learn to honor their own needs without compromising their principles. Ask yourself, are you avoiding conflict out of fear or because you value peace? And in doing so, are you neglecting your own well-being? Kindness is not about enduring silently. It's about giving with intention and protecting your inner peace. By embracing the courage to set boundaries and communicate openly, kind people can transform their quiet strength into a force that uplifts not only others, but also themselves. True kindness is not about avoiding conflict at all. It's about choosing when to stand firm and when to let go, all while staying true to the values that define us. 3. Authenticity, a quiet strength. In a world that often values appearances over substance and rewards superficial connections, those who live with authenticity and kindness can feel like outsiders. It's not because they lack the ability to fit in, but because their values challenge the very fabric of what society celebrates. Authenticity, instead of being admired, is frequently misunderstood or even seen as inconvenient. Why has something as noble as being true to oneself become a reason for isolation? The answer lies in a culture that measures worth by external validation, social media likes, material possessions, and the ability to project a curated image. For good people who prioritize simplicity, integrity, and depth, this obsession with appearances can make them seem unremarkable or even invisible. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." For those who live authentically, this principle is a guiding light, even when it sets them apart. Take the story of Clara, a young woman working in a corporate environment where self-promotion and networking are the norms. Clara, however, chooses a different path. She focuses on her work, treats her colleagues with respect, and avoids engaging in office politics. While others are busy showcasing their achievements or exaggerating their contributions, Clara remains quiet, letting her actions speak for themselves. One day, during a team meeting, her manager asked for feedback on a project. While most of her peers offered shallow praise to gain favor, Clara shared her honest thoughts, pointing out areas for improvement. Her intention was to help the team grow, but her feedback was met with awkward silence. Later, a colleague told her that she should have just played along, to avoid standing out. Clara's honesty, though uncomfortable for others, was a reflection of her authenticity. She wasn't trying to be difficult, she was simply being true to herself. This is the challenge good people face. Their authenticity often forces others to confront their own insecurities, creating discomfort and distance. Society tends to mistake simplicity for a lack of depth and honesty for naivety. Good people don't complicate matters or use flattery to gain approval, and this makes them easy to overlook in a world that prioritizes loudness over substance. Yet, their simplicity is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. They don't seek to impress, they seek to connect. This is why they often prioritize quality over quantity in relationships. They are selective, not because they are antisocial, but because they value meaningful connections over superficial ones. This selectiveness can make them seem distant or hard to approach, but it's their way of protecting their values and inner peace. Consider Adam, a man who always lives by the principles of truth and respect. During a family gathering, when conversations turned to exaggerated stories and self-promotion, Adam chose to remain silent rather than participate in shallow discussions. His silence wasn't arrogance, it was a way to honor his values and avoid conflicts with himself. Yet, some family members misinterpreted his quietness as unfriendly or aloof. Adam understood that engaging in conversations that didn't align with his beliefs would only leave him feeling conflicted. His choice to remain silent was an act of strength, not weakness. He knew that staying true to himself was far more important than seeking temporary approval from others. Good people are not weak. They are not incapable of making friends or engaging with others. Instead, they are deliberate in their choices. They understand that not every relationship is worth investing in, and that living authentically sometimes means walking a lonelier path. But they also know that their worth is not determined by how others perceive them. Being misunderstood for their honesty is not a reason to abandon it. Instead, it's a reminder of their quiet strength. Good people, like lighthouses, stand firm amidst the storms of societal expectations, guiding others with their unwavering authenticity. Their lives teach us that living truthfully, even when misunderstood, is always more valuable than compromising who we are for fleeting acceptance. So, ask yourself, are you living for others' approval, or are you living for your truth? The answer might just set you free. 4. The strength in selective connection. Have you ever wondered why those with the kindest hearts often feel the loneliest? It's not because they lack the ability to connect with others, but because they seek something deeper, relationships that align with their values and nurture their spirit. In a world that often celebrates quantity over quality, kind-hearted individuals find themselves walking a different path, one that prioritizes authenticity over superficiality. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This wisdom reflects the philosophy of selective connection, where fewer, meaningful relationships are chosen over countless shallow ones. It's a quiet strength that challenges societal norms, but it comes with its own set of challenges. Consider the story of Emily, a young professional who always felt out of place at networking events. While others effortlessly exchanged small talk and business cards, Emily longed for conversations that went beyond surface-level pleasantries. She valued depth discussions about dreams, struggles, and shared values. Over time, she realized that forcing herself into these environments drained her energy and left her feeling disconnected. Instead of conforming, Emily chose to focus on building a few genuine relationships with people who truly understood her. Though her circle was small, it was rich with trust and authenticity, and she found herself far more fulfilled than when she tried to fit into spaces that didn't align with her values. This choice to prioritize depth over breadth is often misunderstood. In a culture that glorifies networking and social clout, being selective can be perceived as aloofness or even arrogance. But for kind-hearted individuals, it's not about rejecting others, it's about protecting their energy and staying true to their principles. They understand that not every relationship is worth investing in, and that spreading themselves too thin can lead to emotional exhaustion. This self-awareness, while admirable, can sometimes lead to feelings of isolation. When most people prioritize convenience and quantity, those who seek meaningful connections may feel like misfits, amplifying their loneliness. Yet, this loneliness is often the price of authenticity, a price they are willing to pay. Selective connection requires immense strength. It takes courage to endure periods of solitude, resilience to face judgment from those who don't understand, and discipline to maintain boundaries in a world that constantly pushes for more. This strength is not always visible, but it allows kind-hearted individuals to resist relationships that drain them and instead focus on those that nurture their soul. By choosing solitude over empty connections, they preserve their emotional energy and maintain their inner peace. As Stoic philosophy teaches, true fulfillment comes from within, not from external validation. However, this path is not without its challenges. Kind-hearted individuals often approach relationships with open hearts, making them both strong and vulnerable. Their willingness to trust and empathize creates opportunities for profound connections, but also exposes them to potential harm. Unfortunately, not everyone appreciates their kindness, and some may exploit it. This raises an important question. How can kind people remain open to meaningful relationships without becoming victims of manipulation? The answer lies in balance. Selective connection is not about withdrawing from the world, but discerning who is worthy of their kindness. By setting boundaries and building trust carefully, they protect themselves while staying true to their empathetic nature. Take Fred Rogers, the beloved host of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Known for his boundless kindness and selflessness, Rogers dedicated his life to connecting with others. Yet even he experienced moments of profound loneliness. His story reminds us that even the kindest souls must prioritize self-care to maintain their strength. Kind-hearted individuals often neglect their own needs in their generosity, which can lead to emotional exhaustion and feelings of being unappreciated. But by nurturing their inner world and valuing their own well-being, they can find solace and resilience in their solitude. In the end, selective connection is not a weakness, it's a quiet revolution. It challenges the societal norm that more is better and redefines the meaning of true connection. Kind-hearted individuals prove that solitude, when rooted in purpose, is not loneliness, but strength. So, the next time you feel lonely on your journey to meaningful relationships, ask yourself, are you prioritizing depth over quantity? Remember, it's not about the number of people around you, but the depth of those who truly understand you. Selective connection may be a lonely path at times, but it leads to the most rewarding destinations, relationships that nourish your soul and elevate your spirit. 5. The strength of emotional sensitivity. In a world that often mistakes kindness for weakness, emotional sensitivity is both a challenge and a remarkable strength. For those who feel deeply and care unconditionally, their ability to connect with others on a profound level is inspiring, though often misunderstood. Kind-hearted individuals notice the subtleties in relationships that others might overlook: a cold tone, an unanswered text, or even a fleeting moment of being ignored can leave a lasting impression. But this sensitivity is not a flaw, it's evidence of their deep connection to the world around them. They seek meaning in every interaction, often questioning themselves in the face of rejection or betrayal, not because they are weak, but because they care so deeply. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, strength comes from mastering one's mind and not succumbing to external circumstances. For kind-hearted individuals, true strength lies in embracing emotional depth while not letting it define their self-worth. Consider the story of Mia, a young woman who has always been the emotional anchor for her friends and family. Whenever someone needed a shoulder to cry on or a word of encouragement, Mia was there, offering her time and energy without hesitation. But over the years, she began to notice that her kindness was often met with indifference or taken for granted. A close friend once dismissed her feelings when she sought comfort, leaving Mia questioning whether her sensitivity was a burden. Instead of growing bitter, Mia turned inward, reflecting on her emotions and the boundaries she needed to set. She realized that her ability to feel deeply was not a weakness, but a gift. By learning to balance her kindness with self-respect, Mia began to protect her energy while continuing to offer genuine care to those who valued it. Her journey is a testament to the resilience of kind-hearted individuals who transform pain into growth. Emotional sensitivity allows people like Mia to build meaningful connections and offer empathy in ways that others cannot. Their ability to perceive the needs and struggles of others makes them a source of comfort and strength. Yet this depth of feeling comes with its challenges. They often carry not only their own emotions but also the emotional weight of those around them. This can lead to exhaustion, rejection, and moments of profound loneliness. But within this struggle lies a unique beauty, ability to turn suffering into resilience. Kind-hearted individuals don't let disappointment or betrayal harden their hearts. Instead, they use those experiences as stepping stones for self-discovery, learning to set boundaries as gentle reminders of their self-worth. These boundaries are not walls to shut people out, but tools to preserve their emotional well-being, ensuring that their kindness remains a source of strength rather than depletion. The path of the kind-hearted is often marked by solitude, but this solitude is not a sign of failure. It's an opportunity for transformation. In moments of stillness, they confront their fears, desires, and insecurities, peeling back the layers of emotional complexity to uncover their core values. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of self-reflection in achieving inner peace, and for kind-hearted individuals, this practice is essential. By turning inward, they learn to detach their sense of self from external validation and rediscover their inherent worth. This process allows them to embrace their sensitivity as a tool for understanding themselves and the world, rather than as a source of self-doubt. Emotional sensitivity, when paired with self-awareness, becomes a catalyst for growth, enabling them to navigate life with grace and quiet strength. Self-care is a vital part of this journey. For kind-hearted individuals, caring for themselves is not selfish, it's necessary. By prioritizing their emotional well-being, they replenish their energy and break the cycle of overgiving and self-neglect. This balance between kindness and self-respect creates harmony, allowing them to continue giving without losing themselves in the process. Their ability to feel deeply, forgive readily, and hold on to hope leaves a lasting impact on the lives they touch. Even in moments of loneliness, their legacy of kindness and strength resonates, reminding the world that these qualities are not opposites but complementary forces. Emotional sensitivity is a gift that allows kind-hearted individuals to navigate life with both vulnerability and resilience. As Marcus Aurelius taught, strength comes from mastering one's mind, and for kind-hearted people, this mastery involves embracing their emotions while holding firm to their self-worth. By doing so, they move through life with an unshakable inner strength, proving that kindness and emotional depth are powerful tools for transformation and connection. So, ask yourself, how can you embrace your own emotional sensitivity as a source of strength? The answer may lead you to uncover the quiet power within you. 6. Strength, found in solitude. In today's fast-paced and noisy world, solitude is often misunderstood. Many equate it with loneliness, a void, or even failure. But for kind-hearted individuals, solitude is not about isolation or rejection. It is a conscious retreat, a sacred space where they can reconnect with their inner selves, build resilience, and rediscover their purpose. Solitude is not a weakness, it is a profound source of strength. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." For kind-hearted people, this retreat is not an escape, but a deliberate choice to step away from the expectations of others and embrace the clarity and freedom that come from within. Take the story of Sarah, a young professional who spends her Sunday mornings walking along a quiet beach. Her friends often tease her for not joining brunches or social outings, assuming she's lonely or avoiding them. But for Sarah, these solitary walks are moments of peace and self-reflection. The sound of waves crashing against the shore, the salty breeze, and the feel of sand beneath her feet help her find balance. It's during these walks that she processes her emotions, reflects on her goals, and recharges her spirit. When she returns to her busy work week, she feels more grounded, empathetic, and ready to face the challenges ahead. Sarah's story is a reminder that solitude is not emptiness. It is a space for renewal and self-discovery. Kind-hearted individuals often face the challenge of balancing their generosity with their own emotional needs. Solitude offers them a chance to step back and reflect, free from the pressures of pleasing others or conforming to societal norms. It is in these quiet moments that they can rediscover who they are beyond the roles they play, whether as a friend, partner, parent, or colleague. This self-awareness is essential for maintaining their integrity and staying true to their values. Solitude teaches them that their worth is not defined by external validation, but by their inherent nature and the quiet strength they carry within. Consider a father who, after a long day of work and family responsibilities, takes a few moments to sit alone in his study. He doesn't use this time to dwell on stress or worries, but instead reflects on the kind of person he wants to be. He writes in his journal about the lessons he hopes to teach his children and the values he wishes to embody. In this solitude, he finds clarity, strength, and purpose. He returns to his family not just as a provider, but as a role model, showing that kindness and self-awareness are choices made with intention. The journey of solitude is not always easy. Kind-hearted individuals often confront their fears, doubts, and insecurities in these quiet moments, and facing these truths can be uncomfortable. But it is through this self-reflection that they grow stronger. Solitude becomes a space for transformation, where they learn to endure rejection, disappointment, and adversity without losing their kindness or compromising their values. Contrary to the belief that kindness is a weakness, it is actually a testament to inner strength. To remain kind in a world that can be harsh or indifferent requires courage, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to one's principles. Even when their kindness goes unnoticed or unappreciated, kind-hearted individuals find fulfillment in the quiet impact they make. Think of a gardener who spends hours alone tending to a community garden. Her work may not receive praise, but her dedication ensures the garden thrives, bringing beauty and nourishment to the neighborhood. Her solitude is not a lack of connection, but an expression of care and compassion for others. Solitude allows her to focus on her purpose and leave behind a legacy of quiet strength and kindness. To those who feel burdened by their solitude, remember that it is not a punishment but a gift. It is within this space that you cultivate the strength to remain true to yourself and your values. Solitude allows you to recharge, reflect, and grow, enabling you to give to others without losing yourself in the process. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the tranquility of the soul is an unparalleled source of strength. Embrace your solitude as a sanctuary for growth and a reflection of your resilience. In doing so, you are not just surviving, you are thriving, leaving behind a legacy of integrity, kindness, and quiet courage for others to follow. So, ask yourself, how can you use moments of solitude to strengthen your connection with yourself and the world around you? The answer may lead you to discover the depths of your own inner strength. As we conclude, let's take a moment to reflect on the beauty and strength that solitude can bring into our lives. Solitude isn't a sign of weakness or loneliness. It's a powerful tool for self-discovery, growth, and inner peace. It allows us to step back from the noise, reconnect with our values, and build resilience to face life's challenges with clarity and purpose. For kind-hearted individuals, solitude is a sanctuary where you can balance your empathy for others with the self-respect and care you deserve. It's in these quiet moments that you can truly understand yourself, nurture your passions, and transform your vulnerabilities into unwavering strength. What about you? Have you ever experienced a time when solitude helped you grow, reflect, or find clarity in your life? Or do you think society undervalues the strength that comes from spending time alone? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's start a meaningful discussion. Your perspective might inspire someone else to embrace their own solitude and find strength within. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to give it a like and share it with someone who might need this message. And of course, subscribe to the Stoic Philosophical Community for more inspiring content that helps you navigate life with wisdom and purpose. Thank you for being here and for taking the time to reflect on this journey with me. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring the principles of Stoicism and personal growth together. Until then, take care of yourself. You deserve it.